This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We just caught up with Gabe Rosado at the Wildcard Gym. Now it has been announced, Danny Jacobs and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is on. So are you expected to be on the card? Have Eddie Hearn told you anything about it?
Yeah, I'm still going to be on the card. So, I mean, I hope everything falls through as planned with the fight with Chavez and Jacobs. I mean, the press conference looked dope. But yeah, I'm officially on. Will be on the card.
Listen, Julio refused to give a sample to VADA, right? So we expected another opponent will come in, and you were heavily rumoured. Are you slightly disappointed you're not fighting Danny Jacobs?
You know what, man? Really, not at all, man. It's just things will fall into place when it does. I mean, I think it's important that I get on the card. You know, pull off an impressive win, and then that'll open the door for possibly sometime in March. I mean, Billy Joe's fighting tomorrow. It's a fight that I would like. So, you know, with a win, you know, possibly Billy Joe could be next.
Listen, with that 160, that mix is very interesting. You've got Golovkin, Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, Danny Jacobs, but none of them can fight. They can't all fight each other. They need opponents, and that's where you come into. So are you expecting to fight one of them soon?
Listen, December 20th is a fight where I can stay busy, stay active, and like I said, pull off an impressive win, and then that can open the door with a possible rematch with Triple G, or a fight with Billy Joe. I would definitely, if I could have my pick, I would definitely love a rematch with Triple G. You know, you can obviously see that he slowed down a lot from the first time we fought, and you know, it's a fight that I would love to get my revenge on.
How did you score Golovkin, Derevyanchenko?
Golovkin who?
And Derevyanchenko, his last fight at Garden.
I actually had Dumachenko probably win the fight by a round or two, but I think the knockdown definitely, you know, influenced the scorecards. But it was a good fight, you know what I'm saying? But I think he pressed Triple G and he hit him with a lot of shots, a lot of volume shots.
Should we bring Eddie in? Get Eddie in. Eddie, Billy Joe Saunders on the card tomorrow. We know, listen, there's a mix of Golovkin, Canelo, Danny Jacobs, Billy Joe Saunders, but they can't all fight each other. They need opponents, and Gabe Rosado is there, right?
Yeah, that's a bit disrespectful to Gabe Rosado, calling him an opponent.
No, is that?
Yeah, man, I should hit him right now.
Yeah,
right?
I think you should.
But Gabe's happy to get in with any of them.
We actually looked into, as Gabe knows, we tried to make this would have been the perfect fight for this card.
Yeah.
But
so what happened?
The WBO said he's coming off a loss. I said, yeah, but he's coming off a loss to a #1 ranked middleweight in a razor-thin decision in a fight of the year contender. But the rules are with the WBO is you can't be coming off a loss to challenge for a world title. Yeah. So on December 20, we get him a win, and he also has an outside chance, or maybe a good chance, of fighting Danny Jacobs as well. But as I said to him the other day, I just want to get him a win because Gabe Rosado, for me, is a guy that always is there for the big fights, and I actually think he'd be better at super middle. He can make middle easy. Can he make 54? At the moment, he might struggle to make cruiserweight. But I think at the end of the day, you know, he's trying to like. I've seen a couple of comments from Gabe recently where he's like, you know, I feel like losses, you know, don't define you at all. And he's had a few losses, but at the end of the day, he's still a guy that I would put in with all of the top guys that we talk about. Jacobs, Saunders, Andrade, you know, he's fought Golovkin obviously already. So I just want to get him a win, really. Yeah. And although he's standing by for the Jacob-Chavez fight, part of me would rather just get him the win so he can go into 2020 in some big fights.
Do you know, are you going to box on 68 or 60 on December 20?
I'm definitely feel comfortable at 68. I can make 60, but I think I walk around at 85. So I'm a big guy. And we start, you know, I'm training with Freddie Roach now, so I feel like that's a guy that's going to come up with a good game plan, a good strategy. I don't need somebody to show me how to fight. I need somebody who's going to come up with a good game plan, a good strategy. I think Freddie Roach is the perfect guy.
Listen, no one can deny you've been in firefights. Martin Murray, Luis Arias, Selecki. Selecki was a brilliant fight.
Say something about the Martin Murray fight.
What about it?
That weren't a great fight.
Many people had Rosado winning that.
Yes, actually, and he did as well, and a lot of people did. I got a lot of stick for that. But I did call that fight beautiful brutality. And Gabe Rosado.
Martin Murray ran a lot.
Yeah, but
he was on his bike. He was on his bicycle.
Gabe Rosado, 99% of the time, is in a fucking absolute
you know
war.
What? I'm gonna tell you something that even Eddie doesn't know. I just came off a torn calf muscle.
Oh really?
So I went into that fight with an injury. but I didn't say anything about it.
No, you told me you was in the shape of your life.
So I wasn't good. Well, you're supposed to say that, right? But
That's the thing with fighters.
So,
how's your weight?
yeah.
Great. How's your camp? Unbelievable.
Yeah. So actually, I went into that fight actually with a torn calf muscle, and so I was kind of like a little nervous on stepping on my back foot in that fight because, and you could tell the way I was throwing my shots. I had no power. There was no power punches in the whole fight. A lot of the times when I was punching was just to kind of touch and score points. So you know what I mean, I should have pulled out, but you know, that's just who I am. I fight.
Now, just rounding this off, this might be a little bit awkward, but you're putting on KSI-Logan Baltimore. I spoke to Gabe at the wild card. He said it's slightly hypocritical that two YouTubers are headlining at the Staples Center. Fighters dedicate their whole lives to the sport. Do you want to just...
Yeah, sure. Basically, it's life, it's business.
Yeah.
You've got two guys who, when a lot of fighters say, well, I never got the chance to headline at Staples Center for millions of dollars. Yeah, but one, you weren't good enough, and two, you never built the following, right? These guys have built the following to be able to do anything they want at a high level for a lot of money. They chose boxing. So if you're a fighter, you're going to look at these guys and say, it's a fucking joke. Like, I've fucking been there, blood, sweat and tears for 20 years.
So do you understand where Gabe's coming from?
Of course. But also, they've got to understand.
I don't knock the hustle, though. I don't knock the hustle.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think, what I was saying is, I just think, depending on how a fighter loses, I think a fighter gets a lot of slack for taking an L. I think if a fighter quits or if a fighter puts on a shit show, then, you know. But
that's why you're always going to get. At the end of the day,
for sure.
You've had losses.
Yeah.
But like, you're right at the top of my list to work with, because I know like that Sulecki fight was fucking unbelievable in Philadelphia.
Arias fight was good.
Yeah, Arias fight. But you know, ultimately, Gabe will be in big fights this year. These guys, what we're doing tomorrow night is kind of like an experiment to see where this goes. You can't take it too seriously. Logan Paul and KSI are never going to be great fighters. They're never going to win world titles. They're never going to beat professional fighters. But what they have done is built an unprecedented following that means that this fight will drive more subscribers to DAZN than a Canelo Alvarez fight, right? Who is the biggest draw in the game. So we can't ignore it, otherwise the sport won't grow. If we're just too intrinsic and say, oh no, we mustn't let anyone into the sport, we're fighters, or boxing community over here. So let these guys do their thing. Hopefully it's entertaining. And I think with 10-ounce gloves and no head guards, I think they're gonna
get hurt.
I think it's gonna be a knockout.
You know what would be great? If the first 30 seconds of the fight, they both land a right hand and knock each other out.
Then
that'd be fucking amazing.
Okay, Eddie Hearn, Gabe Rosado, thank you very much for your time on IFL TV. We look forward to tomorrow night. Thank you.